Okay, today on the bench we have 4 radios. I thought I'd do I don't know if I want to call it unboxing, uncovering, maybe. We'll take the covers off of them and take a look at them. These were all sent in by the same customer. Let's see, the Striker right here says, I haven't noticed any issues, however I got this with the so-called Dustin kit. Now if you watch some of my previous videos, because Lord knows when this video will go up, but I did what the hell was that? Actually, he said something here. Yeah, same as the Lincoln. I did a President Lincoln for him. He had bought it off of a friend of his who had bought this radio, and it had the Dustin kit, or the Dustin mod. I don't know what the hell that was, but you saw in that video a bunch of black goop all over the board. Just, yeah, it was a mess. We completely undid that, put the radio back to stock factory. But yeah, I guess this has had a Dustin kit, so we'll see what the Dustin kit is. And we now know, actually, where the Dustin kit comes from, because this still has stickers on it. So it's still sealed. And apparently, this one has been there too, because it's got a sticker. So we'll see what lies within. The T-Berry Stalker, that'd be the one on top over here, and this is actually an export radio because it also has FM. Long story. Oh yeah, we get lots of those here. Can you fix the crap these people did to this poor radio? It doesn't work and makes nasty sound when hooked up. Set watts to 3 watts. Well, it had a sticker. I'm not sure where it was last. And yeah, radio's sitting on the radio, but it has rubber feet, so the radio is not actually sitting on the radio. And then the President Grant down here, and you can kind of probably guess what chassis is in this radio because of how long the cover is. Anyhow, same thing, except this radio does work, but sideband is messed up, modulation is off. I just need your magic touch set to 3 watts. So let's get some of these. Oh, God, this pace, man, this thing is... Oh, and speaking of the pace, I don't know what's up with this. There's nothing on the note about this radio, so, and it's like 4 o'clock in the morning right now, so I'll have to contact the customer later today. But yeah, yeah, the good old pace, man. This thing it weighs like as much as 1.5, or like this radio and a half of this one or something, man. This thing is a tank. Let me get some of these other ones out of the way. And we will start, not with this one, we shall start with a real radio, a President Grant. The first thing we can do is take off this sticker here, this warranty if removed, which I don't think a lot of people realize it's illegal. Well, you can stick it on there, but you can't deny somebody's warranty because the sticker's not on there. Magnuson-Moss Warranty Act. Just go ask Apple and Microsoft and all the other large corporations that have been sued over that, about putting warranty void if removed stickers on products. Yeah, you can't do that. Well, you can put them on there, but you can't void their warranty. So let's see what lies within this guy. This would be one of my favorite chassis. So if you don't already know, you're probably getting the idea what's in here chassis wise. Oh, doesn't look bad on the underside. Not seeing a bunch of hocus pocus here. Let's get it sideways so it fits in the screen a little bit better. That's looking like a Mark's channel board. I see a blue board. Does this thing have Mark's channel board in it? It's got to. Yeah. Did I? Oh, this is... I bet this is one that I installed a Channel King board in. He took it... Of course, I would have aligned the radio to factory specs. Yep. I guarantee you, I just look at the installation. I did this. This is a Channel King installation. So I get the feeling because he wanted the power turned down. So instead of having to mail the radio back to me, he just took it to the local shop to have the power turned down some. So, and actually, what did he say about this one? Same thing, except the radio does work, but sideband is messed up, modulation is off, I just need your magic touch. I wonder if he realized, does he even know? I'm going to have to check to see, did I do this for him? Or was this radio for somebody else? I don't know. But yeah, it's been to R&R Communications, so yeah, and those are my wire ties. Really expensive. They're Thomas & Betts. You can see the little stainless steel tie lock in there. It's this Thomas & Betts, what they call their grip of steel wire ties. So yeah, I know I worked on this. So I'm going to have to, yeah, this one's going to have to be powered up and checked to see exactly what's wrong with it. I don't know if they tinkered with anything. I can see, because I reseal the cores with wax, and the core is no longer sealed with wax. So, yeah, this one's going to have to be checked out, see what the heck happened to this. So we'll just set this one off to the side, but nothing jumped out at me. So I don't see anything, there's no, well, I mean, it's got a Channel King kit, but other than that, I can't say anything's jumping out at me. It looks like the AMC ALC circuit looks like it's still all intact. Can't say I see any funny business going on in the RF section. So yeah, I get the feeling it probably just needed a power turn down. They did an alignment, probably did their alignment. Yeah, otherwise it looks okay otherwise. So we'll have to see. I get the feeling that's all it probably needs is another alignment, which you shouldn't have to do that. You shouldn't have to keep aligning radios. You shouldn't send it to one person, get it aligned, then send it to somebody. And like I said, I don't even know. Did I do this radio for him? I'm not 100% sure. That's the problem with the wonders of eBay. Radios nowadays get around so much. It's hard to tell how many hands a radio's been through nowadays. So let's take a look at this Striker. Let's see how this one looks. I'm hoping it looks just like that one over there did. Not all hacked up or anything. And if for no other reason, I hate warranty stickers because of that. Now I got to clean all that crap off of there. Okay. Oh, crap. Well, that answers that question. It's been effing hacked at. Those parts aren't supposed to be there. That glob of crap ain't supposed to be there. At least it's on the bottom side of the board on this radio. If you remember the President Lincoln that I had to undust, this was on the top side of the board, and this goop was poured all over the surrounding components. But yeah, luckily, as I discovered in that one, this stuff is very rubbery, and if you carefully pull at it, you can see that you can pull it off as a sheet. It just comes right off. You wouldn't even know the stuff was on there. Doesn't leave any residue behind. Yeah, there's the diode. It was same as the other one. It'd take a little bit more work to get it off there, but yeah, like I say, luckily it just pulls right off. So, camera zoom back out here, and we'll take a look at this side. Hold on there, cover. I hate these stupid plugs. You try to unplug them, and the plastic part that's supposed to stay in the radio never does, so you have to hold that plastic part down. Well, I see a glob of solder there. That ferrite bead. Don't work on a lot of strikers. Yeah, that just doesn't, I don't know, that could be factory, I suppose. That's the through hole. That shouldn't be a huge glob like that. But, unlike the Lincoln, now there is a difference, because remember I had said, and actually I had mentioned one of these radios in that video. This is very similar, we'll say, to a President Lincoln. It's not the same. Absolutely not the same. But it is a very similar design. One of the big differences is this one, and it's kind of hard to see other than look at the bottom side here, and you can see there's 3 transistors across the back here. So in a President Lincoln, you have your pre-driver, your driver, and the finals. This one has, you could call it a pre-driver, driver, and 2 finals. But they've basically added an extra 13N10, which I'm assuming that's probably what they have in these. Yeah, that's an FQP 13N10. So, but they add an extra one basically for more splatter effect. But in these radios, unlike the President Lincoln, in a President Lincoln, your audio modulation directly drives the finals in that radio. This radio is not like that. It drives, I'd have to pull the schematic. I can't even remember if it even drives the actual driver under here, or if it actually drives the pre-driver. I think it may actually modulate the driver, but the pair of finals in this radio, the only thing they do is amplify. So it gets modulated here. That signal then gets fed into basically a standalone amplifier circuit, which is the 2 finals, and then the already modulated signal gets amplified even bigger. And I kind of get the feeling what that modification in that Lincoln tried to do, and I had said that in that video, was I get the feeling that they tried to turn a Lincoln into a Striker. That was kind of the impression that I got by just what they had screwed with in that radio. So this one, I'm not sure what the hell were they trying to do. I'm going to have to see exactly what the hell parts did they bodge in here. What the hell is this crap? Same thing with the... Why must people do this? Just... sigh. I mean... what do you do for a living, Mike? I sigh all day. That's all I do. I take covers off of radios and sigh a lot. So, otherwise, doesn't look bad. I'll have to really inspect this a lot closer because, of course, this is a surface mount radio, so I'm going to have to inspect this a lot closer. But, yeah, it looks like maybe a little bit of bodge work in the PA section. And obviously, whatever this is. Now, I will fire this radio up first. Before I take anything out, I want to see what this thing actually operates as. You know, like what this big globs, what did they add something there? Not really sure. Doesn't look like it. Or did they... Oh, you've got to be kidding me. They jumpered the bias. That's what those are. They soldered over the bias terminals. when you do an alignment, you have to pull the jumpers, install an amp meter in the line to check your current draw. That's how you adjust the bias. That's why they have jumpers on there. So you can remove them and install your amp meter in series without needing to desolder or remove anything. They soldered right across them. Really? Why not? So, let's go ahead and take a look at that. I'm not even going to take the covers off of that Pace because I don't even know what's up with that. We will take a look at the Stalker, and we'll see what the scoop is with that one. We'll get this one out of the way. And we'll just take a look at this one and see what lies within. Like I said, he didn't say anything about this shop working on this one, so Lord only knows if it was even a shop. Well, I'm assuming probably a shop. Obviously, at some point worked on it. It's got sticker residue. It may have come from there. Again, I'll have to ask him. He would be the only person that would know. Because I know I'm not going to know. But yeah, it looks like that Striker just had a money grab mod. I think that's what I'm going to start calling them, money grab modifications. Because that's all they're doing. Not other than making your radio work worse than it did before, but it's all about getting money out of your pocket. Well, we definitely need to clean the circuit board off, get all this flux residue off. Yeah. Just see how, yeah. Man, looks like this thing's been wire brushed. Looks like the silk screening's just been just raked off of this thing. Wait a minute, this radio has a Channel King board in it too. What in the Fruit Loops is going on here? What the hell? So was this radio sent in, I guess, to probably have the power turned down to and had a magic, alignment done to it that just completely screwed it up? What the hell? I was going to say, what the hell's that jack? I forgot this has the selective call, which was an option back in the day, has a select call jack on the back. Like a PL tone or a tone squelch. Yeah, otherwise it looks probably just more or less say like it did when it left here, other than, yeah, look. Yeah, I know I didn't do that. Look at those trimmer resistors. Cranked to the max, cranked to the max. So yeah, that's basically... I can't even do a radio right. Well, I can. You align a radio correctly, and then it gets sent to another shop, and they just screwdriver it. Full crank, full crank. I mean, really? Speaking of which, let's just take a look. I didn't look at any of the VRs in the President Grant over here. Let's just have a look-see at the VRs in this radio and see if it's been screwdrivered for maximum smoke, maximum distortion, so on and so on. That looks like that's probably right. And power looks like it's probably right. I can't really see any of these without pulling the Channel King board up. Oh, man. Why do I even bother aligning radios if people are just going to send them to get splatterbox modifications done to them and alignments, and then send them back to me again to have that undone and put back to the way it was, the radio was, however many months ago or a year ago or whatever. God. Yeah, I'm not seeing a lot of fully rotated trimmers in this one. But like I said, I can see that my wax is gone. So, Lord only knows. I'm gonna have to hook these up and test them. So, yeah, and I'm not gonna do that right now. Matter of fact, put the screws back in this Channel King board so it's not flopping around in here. But, you know, this this is sad. You know a radio was right. It got, I'm assuming, sent out, and I gotta ask him, like I say, I'm assuming it got sent or taken to a shop to have the power turned down. That's probably all that customer wanted, was to have the carrier turned down. They did an alignment to it and completely screwed it up. Man, it's depressing. You know something, working on radios should not be depressing. This should be enjoyable. But this kind of stuff just drives you nuts after a while. Like, God, when will people learn? Well, I guess it would help if I installed this in the right orientation. But man. Well, at least this one wasn't hacked at. The Stalker doesn't look like it was hacked at either. That one just looks like it has a screwdriver jockey adjustments done to it. So I'm going to just take a wild guess and say both of these probably only need to be aligned again, which they shouldn't have to be. But yeah, so tomorrow I'll probably fire up the camera again. We'll get both of these radios, well actually 3 of them powered up at least. You know, the Grant, the T-Berry, and the, what do you call it, the Striker. We'll see how these 3 actually look, you know, power-wise, modulation, and most likely distortion, if I had to take a guess. And I'll contact the customer and see what's up with that pace. Oh, what the heck, let's just really quick crack the covers on it. It's probably killing some of you. Yeah, this thing is a boat anchor, man. Screw missing. We don't like screws missing. Guaranteed, no ifs, ands, or buts. Someone has been in it at some point. What we like are virgins. Virgins are the best. Virgin radios have never been in and hacked at and butchered. Another screw missing. They haven't been molested by shops and hacks. Actually, all the screws off this cover. These 2 were missing too already. Let's see here. Yeah, it looks like it's probably got a clarifier unlock modification. If I remember correctly, I had to pull the manual out and look. That either that or they fixed a trace. But some some radios, you do jumper a set of pins back by the relay. I don't know though. This model radio, I'm not 100% sure. Maybe somebody actually fixed something there. I'll have to, but obviously that is not factory. That glob of goop down there. Yeah, looks like all original caps. Nippon, and this is back in the day when you can see the cap brand there, Nippon Chemicon. Back when they actually used good caps from the factory. Back before radio quality, you know, plummeted. Oh yeah, we definitely got something going on here. Lots of black tape. Black tape inside of a radio is never a good sign. So yeah, this will be a fine-tooth comb radio. Have to go through it. Well, like I said, I got to see exactly what the heck he wants done to this thing first, because this one is not on the note. Let's take a look at this side. Yeah, now all the ceramic caps, all these parts, pretty much everything here is probably... What the hell? What the hell? Yeah, we'll just set it down here and we'll zoom in. It's zoom worthy. I'm going to say this thing has no audio. What is up with Mr. Flappy and Mr. Flappy 2? That pin is supposed to be soldered there, and that pin is supposed to be soldered there. Is the audio amp shorted out? What else do we got here? Can't say I see. Of course, I'm looking at arm's length here. As always, camera's in my face, but power wires. What is... Yeah, that may have been worked on at one time. Yeah, the PA section's been worked on here. All of this has been resoldered, as is here. But yeah, I don't even need to turn this on to know it's audio dead. Looks like something's been done. Where am I at in the camera? Right here. There's been a little bit of work here done. So yeah, I'll have to see what he wants done with this thing. And I wonder if this radio may have been sent to somebody to be diagnosed. I need to see what audio amp's in this now, and it has the, what a lot of people think is unobtainium audio amp, when it's actually not. I got a drawer full of them. You just need to know where to get them from. I don't think that. Where are they as double screw mount? They might be. No, I think that, well, I don't, it's not made anymore, but I don't think that one's made out of unobtainium. What was that, an HA 1366, I think? Yeah, 1366 it looks like. So, yeah, this one will definitely need some... And what are... Oh, God, it's a channel modification. That's what all this crap is at the front. There are not supposed to be crystals attached to the faceplate of the radio. So you can be guaranteed this radio, you can just pretty much hang it up on sideband. Long wires and all the capacitance and inductance with all of this crap incorrectly, you know, because it's not meant to be in here like this. Yeah, it's just, it makes the radio useless on sideband. So that'll have to go. But yeah, I wonder if somebody diagnosed it to the point of a bad audio amp and or either just gave up. They got to the point when I can't fix it and sold it. So yeah, definitely needed to contact this customer. But yeah, I'm really curious. There's other two. I personally know. I put the Channel King boards in these. Now this one, somehow I do not remember this lens. I don't ever remember doing a stalker with a cracked lens. But I've done so many radios it's hard to tell. God, I mean, the only stalker I remember doing, I swear that was for another person. Man, it just... You smell that? Smoke. Yeah, it's coming out of my head. I just, yeah, too many radios. Can't remember all this shit. I can't remember who I did what for. So, in any case, I'll contact the customer, find out what exactly is going on here. What's the scoop with these? Were these just sent to another shop to have the power turned down, and they had an alignment done at the time also? You know, they told them, well, we're going to have to do an alignment, and just screwed it up. The striker obviously needs some crap removed out of it. This one needs some repair work. This one just needs to be restored. You can see all original caps. And this uses, unfortunately, Does this have pass-throughs or not? No, I don't think so. Yes, it does, doesn't it? Yeah, this is an early one. Yeah. So, there may or may not be anything wrong with the audio amp. This radio has, if we look down in here, let me just find, see all these copper reflections just killing me here, this shiny board. You can see all the circuit traces. That's actually copper. It's got silk screened over in spots, but you can see there's actually a copper trace there. But these are phenolic boards. These are not, good high quality fiberglass boards. So they have, like right over there, you can see there's solder joints on top of the board here. And that's the way, well, actually there's one right there attached to that copper trace right there. The problem with these phenolic boards is these solder joints, because that's how they're connected. They're connecting a trace on the top side of the board to a trace on the bottom side of the board. Is through a little pin. They just basically stick a little short piece of wire, and it's soldered on both sides of the boards. But as the board expands and contracts, just like at SBEs, Johnsons, I mean, good Lord, anybody that's ever had a radio that was double-sided, you have that problem. But as the boards expand and contract over the decades, eventually the solder joints fail. And unfortunately, they usually fail on this side of the board. So, yeah, there may not have been anything wrong with it. Because I have seen that. I've seen people spend inordinate amount of time diagnosing a radio like this just to find out it wasn't a part problem. It was just a bad pass-through solder joint somewhere, or several. Actually, a lot of the radios I've seen, you'll have 5, 6, a dozen bad solder joints. I mean, you trust me, you can spend some time tracing down all these pass-throughs, but yeah, so I'll let you know. Like I say, we'll get the other ones fired up tomorrow once the sun comes up here in a few hours, actually. Won't be long now. I'll contact the customer, find out what's up with this one, why those were apparently sent to another shop. And the striker's self-explanatory. It just needs to be dedusted, I guess you could say. So, I'll be back later this morning. Okay, so I did finally get a hold of the customer, and whew, I was really concerned here. I was like, man, I know I've worked on 2 of these, because I know my installation of the Channel King boards. So, and he had mentioned something a few weeks ago, and I forgot all about it. I had done these radios a long time ago for him. He had been using them, working great. He was happy with them. Everybody said they sounded great. Then he started to have problems with more than one radio. He started having problems he was noticing with a lot of his radios. Now, I don't think I've uploaded that one video yet. I'm so horribly backlogged on video uploads, it's ridiculous. I think I got one of them uploaded. But I have probably rebuilt over a dozen microphones for this customer. I just did some here a few weeks ago, and that's the video I don't think I have uploaded yet. But he was having mic problems. That's actually what his problem was. There wasn't anything wrong with the radios. He was having microphone problems. So those apparently have been, he sent them to me, I rebuilt them, sent them back, so that problem's now been fixed. So he's getting great audio reports again. The problem is, he had sent a bunch of his radios, because people, and apparently the people at this shop, I guess he had talked to one of them on air. I guess he's close enough to them to talk to them, on the radio, and they had told him, yeah, you kind of sound weak. Well, he sounded weak because his microphone, now this is my microphone, but actually I did do a bunch of 575 M6s for him though, but it was microphone problems is what he was having. So they told him, yeah, bring the radios by and we'll take a look at them. And well, they did an alignment. Well, it was a screwdriver alignment. And man, is it ever a screwdriver alignment. So this one, the T-Berry Stalker, and obviously the Striker, that thing's, yeah, it's got all that crap in there we got to remove. But these two, probably all they need is just an alignment. And are they out of alignment? The frequency's still on, but man, the the power, or at least it sounds good listening to it on a monitor radio. Yeah, clarifier is still centered there. But the output power on this thing, well, what is it doing? It's on, okay, we're on AM. Let's have a look-see at the watt meter down here. Actually, everything's hooked up here. The watt meter, the spectrum analyzer. It is set to the channel the radio's on, 27.205. I have the span set to 10 kilohertz, so we're only looking at one channel's worth of spacing, and then the oscilloscope will be monitoring the RF envelope. We key the microphone, 4 watts. So it looks like they didn't adjust the power output at all. That's still set at 4 watts. And okay, let's just turn on an audio, 1 kilohertz audio tone here. We'll feed that into the mic and see what we look like. Yeesh. Doesn't look great, does it? Yeah, that looks pretty horrible. And it gets even better on sideband. For starters, when I put the radio in sideband, watch the needle. So let's get some jack stands here. Prop the front of the radio up slightly. See the meter a little bit better. And I'll just talk into the microphone. Audio 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. The needle smacks the right hand side. Yes, this has definitely had a screwdriver alignment. The needle should not be smacking the right side of the meter face. I can hear it ping, 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 ping. You may not be able to hear it in the camera, but I can actually hear ping, ping, ping. I can actually hear the needle bouncing against the right side of the meter face, you know, left side because it's upside down. But yeah, and then if we look at sideband on the scope, well, better yet, look at the watt meter. Let me give it a whistle. 18 watts. Yes, way too much power. Now, excuse me. Let's watch the oscilloscope. We should see normal sideband modulation. And if I talk into the microphone, pretty much the only thing we see is pretty much a flat bar, because yeah, the ALC has been turned up to the point of, and that's what he was complaining about. He's like, he got the microphones repaired. I guess these radios have been at the shop for a year or two. I don't know. I don't know the story behind that. But he finally went back, got the radios back. He's now hooked up the microphones that I rebuilt to the radios, and now everybody's telling him that, oh my God, you're horribly distorted. Well, that's because they've been screwdrivered. So, I mean, God, it's a shame that he had to go through all this, spent all the money to get these radios restored, and then had to, I guess, pay them for an alignment, and then he's got to send it back to me again to get an alignment done to correct the last shop's screwdriver jockey, job. And there wasn't anything wrong with the radio in the first place. It was a couple of his microphones that he had. So we can see how distorted this one is. So let me really quick get the I'll go through the alignment on this one, because it's got to be done again. And I don't know for sure if they've done anything with the frequency, so I'm just going to have to completely realign the whole radio. I'll have to check the synthesizer alignment, receive and transmit, make sure it's all like it should be, because it's kind of hard to tell if somebody's been in there turning all the transformers or not. So let me get that done. I'll be back, show you what it looks like, and the output power. Now, I think he wanted this one turned down to 3 watts AM carrier, so I'll get that turned down. And then we'll take a look at the next one, the T-Berry Stalker. He said that one's even worse. I don't know how you could get any worse transmit audio than this one has right now. Yeah, sideband, yeah, I can just look at the scope and see it's useless. You're going to sound like just grab a sock and ball it up and try and talk through it, and then crinkle some carbon paper in front of that. That's probably what, just use your imagination. That's what this thing sounds like on transmit, because, well, actually, let's turn on a monitor radio. I don't know if I can get the audio up high enough to where you'll be able to hear it without it feeding back. Let's see, channel 20, upper sideband. Okay, let's give her a whirl. Probably have to turn the mic gain down some. Audio 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Move the camera over this way a little bit more. It'll pick up some more of it. Audio 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Audio 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. It just, yeah, that's that doesn't sound good. So let me get this one aligned. We'll take a look at the stalker. I'm going to assume that's probably all both of these needs just an alignment. Let me turn the camera side. That's the problem. When the camera's in front of my face, I really can't get down in close to look at radios to see what it looks like might be done to them. Let me get the camera off to the side here. Let's take a quick look. Nope, it's been not only screwdrivered, it's, yeah, there are clipped parts. Where is my pointer? Oh God, where did my spudger go? There it is. Now I can't see my viewfinder because I had it flipped around. Yes, if all else fails, cut parts. Really? Okay, so it looks like I do have some cut parts to replace, so I'm going to assume the stalker is probably going to be the same way. It's probably got a clip. The ALC, AMC circuit's probably been disabled in that one. Though, that one, if you remember, that one has a couple potentiometers. You know, the trimmer resistors are cranked full rotation, so maybe they didn't clip anything in that one, but we'll have to check. But, yeah, obviously there's cut parts in this one, so... Man, what... I just back to head shaking again. Okay, so it was just two clipped parts, two diodes. There were actually two of them, the AMC and the ALC. So that's why AM and sideband were both distorted. Put those diodes, put new diodes in. The AMC was still set correctly, and the sideband was still set correctly. So I didn't actually have to adjust them. They just disabled the limiters. So yeah, that was fine. So I got it hooked up again. Let's take a listen. I'll swing the camera arm over here as far as I can, see if you can hear the monitor radio again. Let's see, sideband, upper, yeah. Audio 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Audio check 1, 2, 3, 4. Much clearer. Got rid of all that raspiness and just, yeah, talking through a sock sound and crunchiness. And then if we look at it on the oscilloscope and the spectrum analyzer and take a look at the watt meter. So let's start off on AM. Let's see. Actually, I do need to turn the power down a little bit on this because he wants this at 3 watts. Wrong way. Oh, there we go. Now we're at 3 watts. Okay, and take a look. Turn on our tone again. And then if we switch to sideband, audio 1, 2, 3, 4, audio check 1, 2, 3, 4, and you can see it looks so much better up on the scope. It's not a solid bar, which it should never be on sideband. You should see your modulation. Audio check 1, 2, 3, radio 1, 2, 3, testing 1, 2, 3, 4, and 12. You see 12 watts down on the watt meter, which is what this radio should do. So, yeah, like I say, I didn't have to touch either of the modulation, AMC, ALC circuits. So, I'll really quick go back through it, check the frequency alignment and everything else. I don't know if they actually did anything there. I may just do some quick sensitivity tests, just to save the customer money, so I don't have to charge them for a whole alignment. I mean, if I don't need to do the whole thing, there's no reason to. I already did it once, and if the other shop hasn't tinkered with the rest of it, there's no reason to need to do it again. So I'll probably just check a couple frequencies, on the major test points here. As long as that looks fine, hook it up to the communications test set, make sure that the sensitivity is still good. As long as that still looks good, yeah, I'll just close it up and it'll be good to go. So yeah, it was just diode here, snipped, put them back in, and didn't even have to adjust it. So yeah, probably the best thing I can tell you with a radio. If you ever The only time you should have wire cutters inside of a radio is when you're cutting off the lead of a component that you just installed. You should never be entering a radio with a pair of wire cutters to cut something, to just disable something. If anybody ever tells you to cut a part, tell them to go pound sand or use something even more colorful. Because, yeah, it's not going to do anything but make you sound absolutely horrendous on air. So, let me get this checked out, and then we'll get the Stalker on the bench, and we'll see what that one looks like. Because apparently that one sounds even worse on air. Is what he's been told, so I'm kind of curious to see. Okay, so the next victim up on the bench. So the Grant, yeah, it looked like mainly the only thing they had done to it was just hack the limiter circuits. You know, put the diodes in, it returned fine, didn't even have to adjust the ALC or the AMC. The settings were still fine, it's just they had been disabled. This one, I looked it over pretty close. It doesn't look like anything's been removed, so I'm thinking it's probably just adjustments. I don't think they actually disabled the ALC or AMC circuits in this one. I think all they did was just screwdriver it. If you remember when we first took the covers off, we noticed that those two trimmer resistors right there are at full rotation. So yeah, trimmers should never be at full rotation. They should be like this one, you know, somewhere, you know, midway around there. But yeah, if it's anytime you open a radio and you see a trimmer at full rotation, somebody's been doing some funny business. So we wanted to see what this one looks like. So let's key the radio up here. Audio 1, 2. What the hell? Oh, that's FM. Forgot this radio's got an FM position. Let's put that in AM and try that again. Okay, key the mic. Audio 1, 2. Ooh, yeah, look at it on the scope. You can see the flat line in there when I'm talking. And look how level the power is there. If you didn't know any better, you would think it was FM. And we'll give it a whistle. Yeah, rail cars. And the power, it looks like they, just like the other radio, it doesn't look like they adjusted the actual power. It's still dead nuts on 4 watts. It's just, and then if we switch to, what is that, upper sideband, and we give a talk into the microphone again, and you can see, kind of like the Grant, yeah, it's just horrible looking. And let's see what kind of maximum power. We'll give it a whistle. Yeah, like 18 watts, just like the other one. So yeah, it's just the ALC circuit's just screaming full bore. So let's, like I say, I'm thinking it's just adjustments. So let's stick it into, I can get this all in camera if I can. Let's see, FM, AM. And that should be, I think that's this one. Oh yeah, yep, it's still working. That's pretty close right there. I'm going to go over the alignment again. The Grant, I'd check the frequencies of like it was still on. I'm assuming probably the same thing with this one, but after I turn the camera off, I'll actually check it. You know, I'll actually inject an audio signal, not a whistle, because you don't use a whistle to do adjustments. And we'll flip into sideband here. And that should be the other one that's full rotation. And we'll give it a whistle and we'll turn it down to 12 watts. We'll actually need to see if it works first. Okay, and there's 12 watts. And yeah, it's definitely looking a little bit better. Yeah, it still looks like it's a little bit too much. It's up a little bit too high. Turn that down. Like I said, I need to do this with a double tone test. Audio. That looks a little bit better. But the actual peak power looks a little bit low. So yeah, I'll have to do that adjustment with a double tone. But yeah, the ALC and AMC circuits apparently were not disabled in this one. They just screwdrivered it. That's probably the only thing that's done. Let me turn it back to AM. And yep, it's still dead on frequency. It's still centered. So yeah, it looks like that's probably all it needs. I'll just put my little test fixture, you know, up to it, feed an audio signal into it and properly adjust the ALC and the AMC circuits, and that should be it for this one too. I suspect probably all the other adjustments are still fine. I'll, like I say, double check it. This one, yeah, even the cores are still sealed in wax, so... and then we'll get the, let's see, what's the next one? The Striker. Now, the Pace, I'm not going to bring that one back out on the bench in this video. That one was, if you remember, was not on the note. The customer just plain forgot forgot to put that on the note. He forgot all about it. So what he wants done with that one is, because he didn't even know what its operating condition was. He bought it used online, probably eBay, unboxed it, looked at it, stuck it in the box to send to me. So he hasn't even powered it up. He was unaware of any problems. He didn't know its operating condition, anything. So he said, yeah, that one just needs a full restoration. So that will be a completely separate video on that one. So, like I say, I'll get the Striker out. We'll take a look at that one. I'll finish this one up first, get it put back together, and then we'll dig the Striker out and see what needs to be. Actually, as I told the guy that owns the radios, I guess we can call this de-dusting. Because if it was a dusting mod, well, yeah, I guess we're going to be de-dusting. So we're not going to be dusting the radios, we're going to be de-dusting them. So this is a radio number 2 that's been de-dusted and one left to go.